And welcome everybody here to a 446 Sports production of the Reservation Roundup with head coach Kevin Cook of your Tioga Indians. My name's Billy French, alongside Chuck Perkins behind the camera, working all the gadgets here to keep everything running smooth. We are live here at Quebedeaux in Pineville. Week 2 action, getting ready here for a big matchup here tomorrow night. Coach Kevin Cook again with us, of course, every week here live at Quebedeaux. And Coach, big game starting off week 1 last week at Sterlington. Had a lot of momentum going, a few things here and there, but a good showing by the Tioga Indians. Didn't have the outcome that we wanted and that we hoped for, but there were some good things. And I know, of course, as coaches, you guys find the good things, you find the bad things, you work on them, and you try to get better. But 28-13 loss week 1 against a very, very good Sterlington Panther team.
Yeah, I was real proud of the kids overall. I mean, obviously, like you said, you take away some good and bad things from it. We have to stop giving up big plays on defense. You know, we had 2 big plays that we gave up on defense, both for touchdowns that killed us. You know, on offense, we didn't make those big plays. You know, we were misconnected a couple times, left a couple of touchdowns out there from big plays we missed. And then, you know, in the middle of both of those things, we just had too many penalties. And both teams had 11 penalties on the night, but ours were big and theirs were small. And they came at very inopportune times. And so, you know, those are the 3 things that we're trying to clean up this week. You know, don't give up the big plays. You know, we need to make some big plays. And then, of course, at the end of the day, the penalties will always kill you. So.
Well, it looked like the offense had some big, like you said, there were some missed opportunities, but the receivers were getting some separation and a couple of drop passes, and then of course early on, like you said, it was even on the penalties, but it seemed like that first couple series for the offense, a lot of penalties, and it negated a couple of really good plays or some runs, and we were finally able to get a little bit of running game with Travis. As the game progressed, but over the top, Curvin had a lot of separation, of course, and a lot of some stuff that just kind of went through the hands, of course, with Angelo as well. But I was very impressed with the separation, and again, I even said it during the broadcast. I said, you know, they keep getting separation, things are going to happen. Yeah. And a little bit later on, the touchdown from Case to Curvin Johnson for the 38-yard touchdown reception, which was a fantastic. Of course, Travis had another touchdown run. Which got us our points. But again, I think if a couple of those are maybe caught at the beginning of the game, and the penalties are a little, not quite so big with the pass interference or anything like that, I think it could have been an absolute complete different ball game. Just set the tone early on.
Well, you know, early on we misconnect on a third down play that's a touchdown if we get that, but instead, you know, you punt and it gets chipped, and then now they have the ball on the 30, and then it's just
great field position,
very difficult to hold Sterlington High School out from the 30. So those are the things that swing you early on. But even with the mistakes that we made, on all 3 phases of the game, you know, in the third down we have an opportunity, as you said, but you got, you know, we can't quite reel it in. There's a beautiful ball, by our quarterback right there. But you know, this part of being young, and it's the first time on Friday night, and that's a big deal. And you know, I told Angelo after the game, I think he's going to be a superstar. I don't think there's a question about that. And I told him, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that never happened, and you shouldn't. As far as you're concerned, it should have never happened, because you have to play the next play and play the next game and all the things. But you know, there's a lot of ways that we missed. You know, in week 1, we missed our opportunity to be in it in the 4th. You know, whether it's, you know, reaching and grabbing a face mask, or a horse collar penalty, or, you know, just a variety of different things. But all in all, I was proud of the team effort.
Yes.
I felt like that, you know, you have a lot of new people out there. I think when you look out there, at one point Friday night, you had 7 new people on offense. And then, you know, you have your new faces that are on defense. And what you're really looking for is there any fight in these guys?
Right.
You know, what's going to happen when things don't go our way? We're not at home, you know, and how do they respond to that? And I felt like the answer to that was, hey, we'll fight all the way through. And so even with all the things that happened to us, with just under 6 minutes left to go, our defense gets a stop, and we're getting the ball back with opportunities for, a 2-minute drill, onside kick, and hopefully a 2-minute drill. 6 minutes, plenty of time for that. But once again, unfortunately, penalties set us back. So those are the things that, some good and bad things that we took away from it, and some things that we know we got to clean up if we're going to get better.
Absolutely. And again, A.J. Adams had himself a day on the defensive end. I'm telling you, where it didn't matter what side he was on, they were trying to run away from him because he kept getting into it. So there's a lot of really good things. Of course, our Security Sporting Goods player of the game, Mr. Jackson Tarver, had a heck of a play, and just some really good things that we see. And again, I agree with you. When you're a wide receiver and you make a mistake, again, it happens. I mean, I'm not,
right.
you got to have
they
short
drop
term.
them on Saturday, they drop them on Sunday,
right.
and that's what I told them after the game. Those guys that are getting paid millions of dollars, they drop balls too.
Yes, sir.
So don't sweat it. It's how we respond to the adversity in our life that really decides who we are. And so I have a lot of faith in Angelo and really all of our kids that they're going to respond well to in this league.
Again, and the hardest part is getting that separation. The reps will come in, those catches will start being made. We'll start getting yards after the catch and everything. But I was very impressed with the wide receiver core this week. On separation, how much they were to be. I mean, they had, especially early on even the drop, he had him beat by 3 to 4 yards. Of course, a couple of other plays that was just a little bit out of the reach, but there was a ton of separation. And again, when you're able to stretch the field that way, you're going to open up things for number 2. And let him be able to run the ball even more. So, very, very, very impressed. And again, we can't say it enough. We hate to give, I don't mind giving credit to good teams, but Sterlington is a very, very well-coached team. They knew what what they were doing. They knew their game plan. And again, just a few plays, and the completely different third and fourth quarters into the fourth quarter. And I think that we could have had that lead, how we made those plays. But again, you live, you learn, you're young, and you get better. The Southern Air Cool play of the game, we're going to go to that real quick. And that was a beautiful throw from Case Malone to Kervin Johnson for 38 yards. You're going to see it right here on your screen.
And we're back here, 4th and short here for Sterlington. And there they go. They got 2 receivers on that far side now.
No, I believe that's
they're going to be fake handoff to the quarterback keeper to the right. He's going to keep it himself. Tosses it wide open receiver, and that's going to be enough. Jackson Tarver stays in and makes a tackle, and he's going to go into the end zone. That should be a touchdown. No, looks like Jackson Tarver took it away.
Good job of boxing.
Let's see what the call is from the side judge.
And that is our Southern Air.
He took it away before he got into the end zone.
Case Malone to Kervin Johnson there on a beautiful 38-yard touchdown, one of the 2 scores for your Tioga team. And that leads us to our Security Sporting Good player of the game. And he had a field day today, that Friday night on making plays. Now, we don't, anytime that your safeties are leading you in tackles, it's not the best thing because that means they're getting into the secondary. Yeah. That being said, Kenny Ponche and Jackson Tarver had a beautiful day on tackles. You don't want it to happen, but it's nice to have that type of back wall there that can stop it for you. And Jackson Tarver just kind of separated himself Friday night. And our Security Sporting Goods player of the game is Jackson Tarver. And that leads to one of the clips we want to show you right here of Jackson not giving up on the play, which I know, Coach, you've probably seen this a couple of times when y'all watch film. But we'll go ahead and turn it over to Chuck here. And you're going to see Jackson Tarver miss the initial tackle, but come back and never give up right there. And watch this play right here by Jackson.
And we're back here, 4th and short. Lone setback. Ryan Reeves in that fullback spot. Case
no, that's the play from Case to Kervin.
We're back here,
right here,
4th and short here for Sterlington.
He's going to be at the bottom of his
screen.
And
there they go. They got 2 receivers on that far side now. They're going to be fake handoff to the quarterback keeper to the right. He's going to keep it himself. Tosses it wide open receiver, and that's going to be enough. Jackson Tarver stays in and makes a tackle, and he's going to go into the end zone. That should be a touchdown. No, looks like Jackson Tarver took it away. Let's see what the call is from the side judge. He took it away before he got into the end zone. And they're conferring right now. That should be a turnover, touchback, and Tioga ball. Jackson Tarver takes it away. Huge play right here pending this result. It looks like before he got into the end zone, and that's what it is. It's a touchback Tioga ball.
So
what a
just
play
a
by
great
Jackson
effort by number 8
Torres.
right there to, you missed the first tackle, got up, came in there, and just bulldogged it and took it right before he broke the plane to get it, and again stole a possession and stole a touchdown away from Sterlington, and he's been making plays pretty much all preseason and leading up to week 1.
Well, we think a lot of him, or he wouldn't be out there as a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
And so, real proud of the motor that he has, and he just has a fierce competitiveness about him. And we're real happy to have him for the next 3 years, to be honest with you, because we want some of that competitiveness to, be contagious with everybody around him. And I think, the longer you have guys playing like that and making that kind of effort, then it is contagious, and that's what we need it to be.
Yeah, just a great job. Karlinski Lloyd, he had a pretty good night there. He was making some plays as well on batting it down when they did try to throw the ball, which you're going to meet later on. We'll have Coach Tripp Prestridge in here as well, and the defensive backs and special teams, they're going to be coming in on the third segment here tonight as we get ready here. But we are live at Quebedeaux every Thursday night, 7 p.m. This is the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook here. This is your, it's hard to say head coach Kevin Cook, all of it, so I'm trying to get it. But we appreciate everybody for watching. Packed house here again, live at Quebedeaux in Pineville. Come on in, bring your Tioga gear. They'll give you a special menu. Very, very affordable, great food, great atmosphere here, and basically you take care and you support your Tioga Indians team. So we're going to take our first break here tonight. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Coach Cook again, talk to him about Leesville tomorrow night. We're heading to Leesville, Vernon Parish, and we'll get ready for that. But we're going to be right back on 446 Sports. This is Reservation Roundup.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Our
And welcome back here to Reservation Roundup with your head coach, Kevin Cook, here live at Quebedeaux. This is a 446 sports production of the Reservation Roundup here live every Thursday night, 7 p.m. here at Quebedeaux in Pineville. Make sure you come out, support your Tioga Indians here. They give you a special menu if you got your Tioga gear on. We've got another packed house here in week 2. Appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting these Tioga Indians. Coach, we shift gears. Last week is over. week 2 comes a whole new week here and new preparation, and of course, had a little bit different schedule, but like we talked off air a little bit, didn't affect Tioga too much with the possible hurricane preparations and school being out. But week 2 here, a familiar foe that we've played many times over the years. Of course, used to be in our district. Now, only being a little over an hour away here, it's a team that we kind of schedule periodically. But the Leesville Wampus Cats will be heading down to Leesville and see a really good, well-coached team with Coach Causey over there in Leesville. Should be a fun night tomorrow at Leesville.
It should be. Me and Coach Causey visited on the phone for a pretty good while today, just checking in on those guys, being sure that they came through everything fine. We've been knowing each other for quite a while, and we've had some great football games.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we talked about. We've had a lot of very close, games when maybe one of us wasn't very good, but the other one, is just always a good game. And so we're happy to be in this cycle for the next 2 years with them. And one of my all-time favorite games that I've ever coached in, actually 2 of them, but one of them in particular was at the Quebedeaux. And just a great night. They have a great environment over there with the Harleys and all the other stuff. And it's just a cool place to have a football game, and very spirited crowd. And our crowd is always very good when we go over there. We travel very well to Leesville, and so it's going to be a lot of electricity in the stands.
Absolutely, and of course, all those years of being in district play, it usually came down to us and them for the district title. So it made it a pretty good, fun rivalry. Of course, every game was meaningful. Normally, at that point, when you were trying to battle for the the district title. A familiar last name with one of the star players, of course, for Leesville. It seems like we talked about it. Seems like every 3 to 4 years there's another Ford coming in there and just dominating, running the ball. Of course, Xavier Ford last week in the loss on a high-scoring 56-41 loss to Sam Houston. Xavier Ford, 311 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns. Roughly around 7.6 yards per carry, and that's a pretty good average.
Pretty good.
What's crazy is when you have that kind of a night and you still lose. Yeah, that's very frustrating, especially when you got that big of lineman and a ball carrier that is that dominant. Well,
the problem you face when you deal with them in this setting is that they lost the game. Like, normally those stats are you won 50-0 and it was really 49 at halftime or something. Right. I mean, it's normally those are the stats you get on that evening. You get those stats in a loss. It brings a whole new problem to you as you scout people out. And so clearly, one of the most talented, if not the most talented running back, in our area, him, and of course we think a lot of our running back, and then the young man over at Ash. I mean, those are 3 really good running backs, all different styles, but just great running backs. But the Ford kid. It's hard to. I'll be honest. I don't even know his first name. Xavier, I'm not going to act like I do. He's just a Ford kid to me. He's just another Ford running back and hard to tackle. Yeah. But in visiting with Coach today, he said, he just reminded me, he's a great young man, a great kid, and so I want nothing but the best for him. 9 out of 10 weeks of the year. I want him to get 400 yards a night. I just don't want it to be tomorrow night. So, but we feel like that, we've worked and of course, done our best to build. Coach Mutter always has a great game plan. And, our kids, I believe, are going to play as hard as they possibly can play. Now, it's hard to keep a horse like that in the stable for 4 quarters, but we're going to do our best to do that.
Yeah. So of course, when they run like that, it's going to eat a lot of clock up, and that's when your defense is on the field that long, they wear out. But you got some hosses on that defense, and of course you saw it last week. AJ Adams had a masterpiece of a night. He was just making tackle after tackle, just so many of the guys stepping up, making big plays. And again, Xavier Ford will be the guy that we call majority of the time, but there's no doubt in my mind that this Tioga front, this defensive front, can make it not so much fun for him, and not having back-to-back weeks. Again, scoring 41 points with 6 touchdowns on the ground and not coming away from the win is very demoralizing. But it is what it is. I mean, you can correct the defense. It's like, basically they're going to have to correct that defense. The game plan for the offense was pretty well, in hand. They did a really good job of executing what they wanted to do. But the way we are able to spread the ball here with Case being able to throw the ball over the top, and the great job of the dink and dunks when you need the screen pass worked. It really did work if we just didn't have a couple of the penalties, and then of course Travis always does what Travis does. He does a heck of a job of getting it. I love the balance that you have with this offense of being in, and I'm telling you, it looked like a different, and of course, we've got to see Case grow as a quarterback these last few years. Had a lot more zip on the ball this year than, and really enjoyed watching that. Just a couple of little I think that first throw of the game, there's a lot of adrenaline rolling in that one here, and it was just a little, but my goodness, it's just like a dart being thrown right there by Case, and it's going to be a fun night of football when this offense gets to go against that same defense. Now remember, their defense gave up 56 points, so I'd love to see what our offense can do, and of course Coach Mooter does a phenomenal job. We talk about that. He always has a great game plan and ready, and I'm sure he's got stopping forward on his mind.
Well, I mean, that's just been on everybody's mind all week, and even in the preseason has been on everybody's mind. Like that's the main thing. Anytime you are coaching football, you want to find what they do and make them beat you another way, make them earn it a different way. And then, as far as Ford goes, I just like to make him earn the yardage. You watch the video from him in other games, and he's just ripping off 50-yard runs. But we want to make him earn it. Make him earn a first down, and try to elongate those time frames. And you never know. They get a holding penalty, or it's a wet football, that night, and it's muddy. You just never know what can happen. So I do think that we have that Coach Mooter has a great game plan together. I do like the diversity that we have right now in offense. I think it's the most diversified we've been in a few years.
I agree.
And, I like it. I think it helps us. And then, as we talked off air, we're developing a great weapon with our kicker.
Yes.
And he has really showed, last Friday that he was the best kicker on the field by a long shot. It wasn't even remotely close.
We talked about that, yes.
And very glad that he's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
And what I like about him the most is he actually comes in and plays some receiver. He is not just a kicker. I've loved all our kickers. They've been great kids, but they were all just kickers.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, when it comes crunch time and there's a lot of pressure on you, you really want a guy who's been hit in the face before.
Yes, sir.
Who's been punched in the mouth a little bit, because you need that mental toughness that only comes from that. There's a different form of mental toughness that football brings, because it is a physical contact sport. And there's nothing like getting a little blood in your mouth, and then you have to decide if you like the taste.
Yeah.
And, a true kicker, most of the time they don't.
Right.
That's why they are kicking all the way through practice. But, not to take things away from our previous kickers, but I love that about him, and I think that it's going to go a long way in helping him as he begins to continue to get better.
Absolutely. And during the Jamboree, of course, when John Wolf was coming in to help color commentate, we were watching the JV play before we got ready for the varsity. And a pass was thrown to Ethan down there, and he caught it. And I looked at John. I said, "Yeah, by the way, that's our varsity kicker catching the ball right there." He's like, "Wow, he's playing wide receiver." I said, "Yeah, he's special." But going back to what we say, we talked off air, you and I was watching, of course, all the hype. I had never seen the Sterlington kicker, but he was up North Louisiana kicker district, blah blah blah. So I was expecting this young man to come in there again, and I watched Ethan in warm up, and I watched that young man in warm up, and it was like night and day.
It was definitely.
Was just booming 55 yarders like it was nothing. Just I mean, he had the leg, the length, and it really showed on the opening kickoff when he, of course when we kicked off, and it was touchback. And he's been doing it just so effortlessly, and that is a heck of a weapon to have, because that's gonna win you ball games on tight ball games when you have the confidence.
There's going to come a time in every season when your special teams make or break a game for you, maybe multiple games. We've had this discussion. Matter of fact, next week's game with Coach Bell. I mean, Coach Bell talked about it when we worked together. We've had 3 big-time games. I think 2 of the 3 were playoff games that special, some form of a special teams play was the deciding factor. We go down to South Lafourche and block a punt, and that's really the play that turned the tide. And we upset them there and come home in the second round. So, it is a big deal, and he is a great weapon, and we're just going to try to throw him out there with the other bullets and keep shooting.
And again, having a balanced passing attack, a balanced running attack, and then able to have a stud in special teams. That's just, that's lanyard right there. But to have that type of, again, you can go either way what you need, of course. And having him being able to kick long field goals, that really helps if you kind of get penalty or whatever brought back. But is there anybody other than what we've talked about, of course, the big names that we always bring up, was there someone that really stood out to you last week that really stepped up and really made some big plays that maybe we haven't quite given enough credit for your Tioga team?
Well, I think that, we have a young guy who works for us up front on the defensive line in Justin White, and I know going into week 1, he had actually graded out the highest. He had the best, technical performance. He had never played in the defensive line before. But, then he got rolled up on his ankle a little bit Friday, but he was able to come back in here and there. It looks like it's healed up all the way now. He's had a good week of rest, and so looked good out there, this week at football practice, moving around and all the things. But, he's a baby. He's a sophomore, never done it before, but he can move. He actually came to us out of junior high and had played a lot of running back. So, he's actually pretty fast for a big kid, and I felt like he's got a very high ceiling from where he is right now.
Yeah, he was the one that we didn't have on our roster that we were given. And so during the broadcast, they're like, as soon as I find out who he is, I'll let you know, because he was making plays.
That
and
was
I finally found out
a mistake
the name.
in the distribution of things. That Zero
happens.
was not supposed to make it out, and it did make it out. And it wasn't supposed to, but that was one of those things that somebody did before I could catch him. But,
I got you. We were curious. I was like, he's making plays. He's got to be out there. He's not on the roster, but I'm sure it's just a jersey number. And then we finally found out in the second half it was Justin White.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of young, talented guys on that defense. Coach's boy Tarver got a high motor. Kind of him and my mind went blank. And both Tarvers are kind of the same.
Yes.
They got a high motor. They play with a lot of emotion, which they've got to kind of learn to reel that in a little bit, and that's part of being young. And I think they'll grow into the ability to control themselves. But hey, I'd rather have a high motor and have to try to pull them back down than try to speed them up. And both of those guys have that. Several sophomores, I think, on our defense are really good. Going to be good hands for a long time.
Nice to have that type of young talent that's really making an impact right now as sophomores. This sophomore class is really, really strong. I know you got a really good freshman class as well.
Yeah, had good performances by both of them this week. Matter of fact, our sophomores went over to North DeSoto and was able to win Monday night 12-0. And then our freshman hosted Leesville at home and was able to win by several touchdowns.
So the sky's the limit here for this young Tioga team again, and that you build it from when they're young. We talk about it every season how the junior high, you get them prepared. Coach Racine does such a good job with them to help make sure that there's an easy transition when they get up to you. That way terminology and everything's pretty much sound. It's same, and just only a little bit of technique things that you need to coach. And, it shows when you've got this many sophomores playing. And, again, it makes it easier on these seniors and juniors. So we're excited. Big matchup tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the Wampanoag in Leesville. Stay tuned. Your Tioga is going to come in there, and they're going to make a impact quick like in a hurry. And we're excited for that. So we're going to take our next break. When we come back, Coach Trip Prestridge. Now, he not only does he coach special teams, he does defensive backs. He does everything. He's been with you for a long time, and we love Coach Trip.
Tioga alumni, played at football at Tioga High School. Dad coached at Tioga High School many years, and he's a special guy to the school for sure.
Well, we watched him, of course, the other night when special teams started making really good plays and doing things. He gets fired up on that sideline. We love watching him.
He's the only person I know that before I go to bed on Friday night, whenever that might be, he has already had a full scouting report of the performance of his special teams, and it's in my email before I go to sleep on Friday night. Even after a long away game to Sterlington, I got in bed, I think, at 2 a.m. I looked at my email. He has already emailed me everything about his special teams from Friday. Like, he is very hard worker, just unbelievably dedicated.
So we're going to get to meet him. Of course, we met him many times. We're going to get to talk to him. We're also going to get to talk to some special teamers. Some defensive backs are here as well. So we're going to take another break. We're going to come back. This is Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook here live at Quebedeaux. We'll be right back.
I just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And welcome back, everybody, here to the Reservation Roundup. We're live at Quebedeaux on Thursday night, 7 p.m. This is the every Thursday night show here with Coach Kevin Cook. Kevin Cook's, he's eating right now. We're going to let him eat because he didn't get to eat last week. We're here now with Coach Trip Prestridge, the special teams and defensive backs coach, and so much more. We love Coach Trip Prestridge, as you can hear the crowd in the back. They love Coach Prestridge as well. And we got a couple of the fellas, but before we get to talking to the fellas, let me talk to Coach. Coach, how many years now have you been here at Tioga coaching?
This is the beginning of my 8th year.
8th year. Of course, you are a Tioga alum, and we appreciate that. You come back to your home school, and you make such a big impact on the community and all these young men. I know it's a privilege. It's a tough job, a lot of hours, and of course, and you do it effortlessly, and with you always have that same type of demeanor where you never look frustrated. You're always excited, and I even talked about it the other night on the show when one of your special teams made a big play, boy, you were up and jumping up and down and excited. Tell us what it means to have that hometown cooking that you have and the love you have for this Tioga team.
Yeah, being an alumni of the school, and my dad coached here for I don't know how many years, a long, long time. This means the world to me. I don't know what it'd be like to coach anywhere else, and I've talked to Coach Cook a few times about it. I don't really care to figure out what that's going to be like. Yeah. So, and then losing Jalen last year, I finally had an alumni with me, and then he leaves me after 1 year.
Yeah,
so.
I know it. He's over there at Grambling State University, coach over there. But and I know it's good because you do such a phenomenal job with both special teams and defensive back. I'm sure that the offers are there, and we appreciate it that you stay home for Tioga. I'm sure people try to lure you away, but again, that home cooking, it just does something for you having that family and that nucleus back at home.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it. Being at Tioga High School is where I want to be, and hopefully I'm here for a long time. And coaching these kids and going to school with, of course it's school, but going to church with a lot of them and just building lifetime memories. Having, Junior now had his brother for 4 years, and just now I've had, kids come through the program and then had their brothers come through the program. Right. And it's just, there's nothing else that really describes it.
Well, we appreciate you. You do a phenomenal job with molding these, make them really good football players, but even better young men. And we appreciate all that you do. We see it, of course, me and Chuck at the end of every game after we're starting to tear everything down. We look out in the field and we see you out there picking up, and it's so many hours. And so we got to say a little thank you to your wife as well. She has to deal with so much.
She's got the harder job at home with the two running around, especially during the game. So, and I tell Ethan all the time, I don't mind picking up the kicking net. You just keep on kicking the way you're kicking, and I'll pick up the kicking net.
Absolutely, and we're going to talk to Ethan here in a minute as well. But we're going to start off with Tucker, Mr. Tucker over here, and of course. Look, how often now? I know this is our long snapper on special teams. We're going to give a little love to special teams here tonight, early on here, and because they are very young. So the only time you ever hear about special teams is when they make a mistake, majority of the time. And so tonight we're going to give a love to our special teams here. How long have you been doing the long snapping, brother?
About like 4 years now.
4 years. Of course, again, if you've noticed, we haven't had hardly any issues, and I don't want to jinx anything by any means. I think we have a little reverb going here, but Chuck's working on that. Again, it's a tough job to have because not only are you worried about making sure you get the snap to the punter, but you're about to get hit in the mouth by the nose tackle. So it's a lot of work. Tell me how much time and effort you put into doing that.
Ethan always wants to get snaps and kicks in every practice, and it's at least like 15 sometimes. And you got Coach Book yelling all the way across the field saying to do it again. So, we do it a lot every day.
Yeah, well, it shows because there's always a smooth transition when you guys are doing that again, and it's a whole lot of fun to watch you. Again, special teams, it's so important, and you guys have set the tone early on. You've done a great job with kicking in, and we're going to talk to Ethan, but right now, hand it over to Christian real quick. We're going to talk to the best smile in the business right there. Look at that young man, Mr. Christian Isles. Again, of course, you're on the offense as well, but you're a crucial part to special teams making big plays. And you're the holder. You're that last line of defense to make sure that you have the perfect snap. If anybody's ever watched Ace Ventura, you got to have laces out the whole time.
Oh yes,
and I know that's a big deal. So how long have you been doing the holding duties?
Actually, I started holding about the end of last year. Coach Tripp was like, you got good hands.
Yeah, we actually call him Angel Hands. I've never heard him called Christian. That's Angel Hands down there.
I was told that last year. I think I even said that one on the broadcast is Angel Hands. Yeah, I got you.
Yes, sir. So Coach Tripp just threw me in there last year, and ever since I've been doing it.
Yeah, well, it's got to be fun because, of course, you don't leave the field very often unless your own, defense is coming out because you're always on offense and you're special team. But it's nice to have that kind of a player where you can do the fake. Well, when you got someone that's got that kind of offensive power.
We love using Christian on special teams. He's kind of the brains of the operation. We have a lot of people running around, but he kind of gets us organized, counts my kids, makes sure we have 11 players on the field, and then, if something goes bad, he's in charge of kind of running the drill to try and get 2 points.
Yeah, so we're not jinxing anything because you two have a dynamic little thing going over there, so we want to make sure that nothing changes tomorrow night in Leesville.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
keep that. So we're going to pass the mic down over here. We're going to give it to Ethan Bridges. We're going to start with Ethan here. And Ethan Bridges, our sophomore kicker that has just been absolutely lights out since his freshman year.
Yeah.
Kickers are so important, and you normally, again, only get to hear things when you miss a kick.
Oh.
It's nice.
Every time.
It's nice to get a little love for the kicker here. And look, again, I was talking to Chuck off air last Friday night while y'all were warming up, and there was so much hype revolving around this Darlington kicker, and just by everything you read. And then I watched him warm up, and I watched you warm up. And I was like, I told Chuck, I said, okay, Ethan is a head above butter than this young man. You were booting it. I was watching you effortlessly booting anywhere between 40 and right around that 50-yard mark. I mean, you were just right through the center. Tell me, how fun is this? Because I take it you're a former soccer player, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's normally how it works. The kickers are always soccer. And Coach Kevin Cook has done a really good job since he's come onto the program to go recruit those soccer players to be our kickers. But, man, you make it so good with the special teams because of the touchbacks. I'd like to know the stats on exactly how many touchbacks, but how much fun is it out there to know that you're going to give your team the best field position that you can on defense?
It's really good knowing the trust they have in me on kickoff, because a lot of times they're like, just put it in the end zone so we don't have to run. And I was like, all right, I got y'all. I'll do the best, but on game days, it's just the feeling and the hype of it. It's just I go out there and do the best, and luckily it helps us in a positive way.
Well, being a kicker is a lonely job too, buddy. I mean, you warm up by yourself, you kick into a net over and over and over again, and when the game is on the line, they're like, okay, hey, now you go out there and do it, and don't mess up, because everybody in the stadium is looking at you, and you hold it. You do a phenomenal job. Super impressed with your whole attitude, because I watch. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm a huge Tioga supporter. Of course, my kids played here and all that. But I watch people's attitudes when they're not on the field. And that's such a big deal. And you always got to seem to have a smile on your face. And I talk about Christian, and he does as well. He's always kind of been that leader, always talking to people. But you seem to have, such a good head on your shoulder. And you seem like you're having a whole lot of fun out there.
Oh, yes, sir. I love doing it. It's fun to me because it just brings so much joy in doing it. Yeah. I could go out there for an hour or two and just kick, and it's so fun. But I like to keep a positive mindset, because when it starts getting negative, that's when I start messing up more.
That's right.
And so even if it does not go the way I just plan to stay positive so the next time I can fix it.
Hard to believe, Coach, that he's only a sophomore.
That's the good thing about all these guys up here. Yeah. There's no seniors on this table, so the future's bright over here.
We get to have every one of them back. We're going to go ahead and talk with Jackson Tarver now. Our Security Sporting Goods player of the game last week, Jackson Tarver. And Chuck, I don't know if you can pull up that clip, if you could here. Before we get you to talk, we're going to let you watch here a little something right here. And we're back here, fourth and short here for Sterlington. And there they go. They got two receivers on that far side. You guys are not going to be able to hear it. They're going to be fake handoff to the quarterback keeper to the right. He's going to keep it himself. And he misses wide open receiver, but misses the tackle. Immediately takes off running and immediately takes the ball from the offensive player before they get in the end zone. So that brings it a touchback. Tioga's ball saves a touchdown. Let's see what the call is from the side. That was one of the reasons we gave you that Security Sporting Good player of the game. Man, you were just all over the field Friday night.
Yes, sir. sir. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so much fun to watch. And again, I talked to Coach Cook a little while ago. I said it's never the best thing in the world when your safeties are leading the tackles because you and Kenny were just all over the place. That means they were getting in the secondary. But it's nice to have that type of defense. You know that wall is going to be there, and you're not going to let them score over the top.
Yeah, we love having those guys back there and kind of in those huddles. I mean, the score was what it was, but I told Jack and all those guys, I don't care. You just go get me the football, and I don't care how you do it. And that kind of literally came up on that video right there.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, you did such a good. You caught my eye. Of course, I know last year. I believe you played a little quarterback last year. You got hurt early on.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. You broke. What was it that you?
My femur.
Your femur. Okay. I couldn't remember what it was, but I knew. But I remember watching you before that, and him playing quarterback, and I said, okay, he's got. Again, I look at everything, and it's a release thing for me with quarterbacks. And you had such a beautiful release, and I was like, okay, when Case is our quarterback, but now we have someone coming up when Case is, I said, okay, we got somebody that can help. And then I see you just dominate on the defensive side. You're not the biggest guy, and I'm sure you know this, but you have some heart, buddy, that comes out there. You're not afraid to hit somebody in the mouth.
Oh, no, sir. I've been doing it all my life. This is what I've been told to do, coached to do, so I go out there and just do me.
Well, you did a fantastic job. We're super excited how young all these guys are here, and I know it's got to be exciting for you, Coach, to have such depth at all these different positions, but knowing that they're coming back for another 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really special group over the next 2 to 3 years. But before Jack got hurt, over the summer, you could just see in 7-on-7, he was just flying around. He was making plays from the middle of the field all the way to the numbers on the other side of the field, and it was just like, that kid's going to be really good. And he's came back from that injury and showed us what we all kind of already knew he was.
Well, again, special teams is so big. Yes, sir.
Do you remember what I called him before the game? We were talking about it. I called him the barn owl.
The barn owl.
I mean, he's small in stature, but vicious is what I said.
Yeah.
He'll go after it, and he's not going to quit till he gets what he wants.
Absolutely. Reminds us a lot of the honey badger.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu, of course, not big in size, but he seems to be in the right place at the right time every time you need him. And just super impressed with the way. Of course, we didn't have the outcome we wanted Friday night, but you guys played really, really good. A couple of plays here and there would change the entire dynamic of that ball game. So, again, coming out this week here, we got a big matchup with Leedsville to the Wampa Dome. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played in the Wampa Dome.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Coach Tripp knows. It's a lot. It's a really exciting atmosphere. They love their football just like we do. And they got a guy, it seems like every couple of years, a forward comes through there and just carries the ball. And, of course, that young man had 6 touchdowns. So we want to make sure that he can have all the fun he wants week 3 and on. We want to shut that door here, and it sets up, guys, with all of you on special teams and defense. And of course, we appreciate everything they do. So we're going to take another break. So, again, we appreciate Coach Tripp Pressage for coming in here to our special teams and DB coach. Let's give it up for Coach Tripp.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Tucker, Christian, Jack, and Ethan Bridges here. We're going to take a break. This is Reservation Roundup here, live at Quebedeaux on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
Wherever.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the last segment of Reservation Roundup with head coach Kevin Cook. We're live at Quebedeaux here in Pineville. Just got done talking to Coach Trip Prestridge and special teams. And, man, I'm telling you, it's so fun to talk to these young men because they're excited. They're having the time of their life.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting to enjoy all this thing. And again, just coming and being able to talk, get them a little comfortable around the microphones. No shyness in these young men at all. I'm really enjoying that.
Well, they're a bunch of, I tell people this all the time, football players are really great kids. The ones we've had have been great kids. Now, they're still kids. I mean, they're going to do something silly every now and then, but, raise your hand if you didn't. And
That's
then
right.
I'll say, let's go find some of your old teachers and just ask them.
Yeah.
But they're just regular old kids, and they're great. And as far as that part goes, but, to do what they do every single day after school, like you just have to be a good kid.
Yes, sir. It's a full-time job. I mean, back in the day, of course, football, you had football season, then you kind of moved on to different. But the way it sets up now with summer workouts and all this, it's a year-long deal. And you got to have commitment. You've got to love it to do it. You can't just be, I'm just going to play football so I can be cool. You really got to love it.
Well, once again, it's just a unique sport unlike any other because it's a year-round commitment for 10 opportunities.
Yes, sir.
Not 30 opportunities and then 30 more in the summer and then, 30 more in fall ball. No, it's 10.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a year-round commitment to those 10 opportunities. And that's what makes it, different too in the form of pressure. I've sat in the bleachers at different sporting events where they have 30 games and they may play 5 or 6 games a weekend. In some form of a tournament, and they're like a quarterback or a receiver in the regard of if they throw an interception, they got to forget about that and move on. So your basketball and baseball players are really good about that.
Right.
And that's why they make good football players is because they do have amnesia because they've been taught that because they don't have another week to sulk about it. They got a game here in a couple hours.
Absolutely.
So, they have that ability, which I appreciate. At the same time, there's a uniqueness to the feeling of pressure that this is it or else.
Right.
And I think that brings a certain flavor to things as well. And I think it's good for young guys to have that pressure on them, that this is it and it ain't coming back no matter what. Because we all have to learn how to deal with various pressures in our life. On one hand, we do need to be able to say, okay, made a mistake, got to get up, not do it again.
Yes.
Get back on the horse. On the flip side of that, like we need that high anxiety. I've got to do it right now or else. And it's a great combination of those things that I believe helps us in our society as we, hopefully put these guys out into society.
Absolutely, yeah. This pressure gets them ready for when they become adults and they have a job that, they're under a deadline or they're this.
Yeah.
And that pressure's, hey, it's no big deal. I've done this all my life. I understand it. And, that's why I love sports so much because to me, it prepares them for adulthood. And plus, when we're our age, we look back and it's all we have of those memories that we had of how much fun we had when we were younger. Like right now, if I was to go play T-ball, I'd dominate right now.
You would.
I'd be so much better now.
That'd be awesome. I would love to see you out there in the dugout and then going up to bat, and all the parents be like, "What is this
like,
guy?"
No, it's my time to shine.
They'd be like, "No, this is my son. He just he has a condition."
A piece of paper with a $10 bill and say, "Here's my birth certificate right here." But so again, pressure is so important for these young men, and so again, you got a young group, and there's such. I love talking to them every week. I love the fact that you have a different group come in every Thursday night so we can talk to them, and not only does it get them comfortable talking on the mic, but it gets a little shine on them to let them highlight them and how good they're doing, how much the community loves them, and you could tell by the Tioga people here as they a couple left already, but how big it is in this community. They support everybody they can.
Well, they do, and I think you saw that tonight, and and how many people was here with Coach Tripp and his family, and like I said, his dad has been great to me. He was at Tioga the first time I was there, and just a wealth of wisdom, from his experience as a coach and then moving around as a coach and a teacher. It was a big loss when he did retire to the whole school and the football.
Was he a track coach?
And he was a great track coach as well. Yes, and so and still very instrumental in the community with people, and as far as getting things accomplished for the school and the community, and just a great guy.
And again, that goes back to it. Coach Tripp Preston's, an alumni. So, you had to do something right when one of your former players comes back and wants to coach with you and then continues to coach with you for now 8 years. He does such a good job. That there's people trying to lure him away or do this, and he stays home because he loves this community. He loves to be a part of this Ward 10 Tioga community. And again, it's why I'm still here. I love this thing, and I wouldn't want to call, as much as I love broadcasting, I have no desire to call any other team than this team here. It's because I feel like I have a stake in it. You know what I mean? I'm a part of this community. I love that when we're walking around out at Walmart or whatever, people come up to us and say, "Hey, look, appreciate you guys broadcasting. I wasn't able to make this particular game, but I get to watch it, and I never miss a Tioga game because of it." And that's why we do it. And we get to highlight these young men. And if one clip can be sent to a college coach that might not have seen it before or whatever, it's worth every bit of it for us.
Yeah, I love to see the young guys up here and getting to talk, and then some of them being forced to talk, which is even more entertaining. So it's always a good time.
You got a couple of them like that they really don't want to talk, but we pry it out of them the best we can. Look, of course, big matchup, week 2 action tomorrow night at Leesville. Please pack the house. Go to the Wampa Dome. Support Tioga. Always Travel's fantastic, especially it's not too far of a drive. Go out there, pack the house, and then on the way home, watch the broadcast. You can rewatch it and make sure, but we want you in the stands. I cannot push that enough. If you have if you can't make it, or if you got family far away, that's one thing. Go ahead and make sure you tell them to tune in on YouTube and watch 446. But if you're able to be there, please come out and support them. It makes a world of difference to have a packed house everywhere we go.
It does. It means a lot to the kids, and football's an emotional game, and the emotions thrive by your fans being there in person.
Yes, sir.
That's what really helps that emotion to thrive, and the crowd noise and all the things and the support. And so I would definitely encourage people to come out. It's always been worth the price of admission.
Yes, sir.
Every time we've played, and it will be tomorrow night, I believe. And the weather's going to be good. And, it's just one of those evenings that's going to be special.
That's it. It's going to be a little bit cooler weather. We're excited about that. So make sure you might bring a little light jacket because it's going to be nice. Look, come out, Leesville, support your Tioga Indians tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the Wampa Dome. Come out there, bring your bells, bring out everything you can here to support this Tioga team. That's going to do us for week 2 here live at Quebedeaux. This is Reservation Roundup with head coach Kevin Cook. My name's Billy French. Appreciate my partner behind the camera, Mr. Chuck Perkins, who does everything for us, makes us look good. And we appreciate Quebedeaux for always doing a great job here, feeding everybody. Special menu if you come on a Thursday night. They give it to you. It's very affordable, and you get some great Southern food. So we appreciate Quebedeaux. So come out tomorrow, support your Tioga Indians at Leedsville. That's going to do it for us. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you very much. And we will see you tomorrow night on 446 Sports after you are there at the stadium. We'll see you. Thank you, and God bless.